But the vision was public space. We had a central park in Frankston, but this was to complement the central park. So we're going to be one of the lucky cities that had two public spaces. So that vision was very much accepted. A lot of work, a lot of community capital that was put into this. The transit cities, Melbourne 2030, started off with Frankston and a look at Frankston's urban renewal potential. The cornerstone site seen by the state government, the council and the community after many workshops which Barry knew, he was the mayor at the time and Barry published a booklet, came up with this first concept that, again, a public plaza, public open space. That was followed through. The funding came with again, a lot of lobbying, but the government did kick in $9 million for this transformational catalyst for further investment. That was option one and option two. Again, a public plaza, consistent way back to the original vision. Similar to Seaford, with a park, a reserve beside their community hall. All the lower car spaces were to be part of the plaza, and the upper spaces would be the necessary restaurants and facilities that would attract people. And that southern end of the plaza would be a building to protect from the wind. The result was more than 9 million, certainly more than probably 10 million. But that sign was there. This is the revitalised, and this is your dividend for $10 million. $10 million. This is the result of implementing community vision through strategic planning. How much money was spent on the strategic planning? $10 million transforming and relocating car spaces. We were funded, the funding was provided to the council to relocate. There were extra car parks built, but it wasn't done. We double dipped and didn't deliver on the vision. No boats, no plaza, no economic dividend. What the government identified and what the council know is that the opportunity for Canada Creek can't be just the boulevard, it also has to be the lifeless waterway that's in the town centre. Most of the rest of the 7 kilometres up to Seaford has been restored and it's navigable. We have lost, in 2 generations, spaces for 130 boats. We've lost that. Now, most of us accept our responsibility within any community to leave the place in a better position than what we received it. Leave it to the next generation. We haven't done that. Look what's happened. Nobody's responsible. Mordialloc Creek. I have to say that 2 weeks ago, the same promise was given to Mordialloc by the state government. We were thrilled when the state government promised to finish this boulevard off and create the public space and the activity. Well, Mordialloc started and have finished their desilting. They finished 2 weeks ago. We haven't even started, we're still looking into it. Other concerns. Southeast water. If we can't persuade you to find a better site that'll suit your long-term interest better, then perhaps some modifications. But looking up the architects that were nominated to give some designs, we found that Candy-Coloured Architects Incorporated, that's the NAB headquarters. That if this is a strategic site which is connecting the waterfront with the town centre, you wouldn't do that. John will talk about some of these issues and I'm not going to dwell on them, but there's clearly a complete mismatch between genuine community consultation and money that was spent on that and outcomes. And even when you get an agreed design, these plazas were supposed to be delivered. There's $10 million put into that to deliver it, and you saw the outcomes. So you set out with a clear plan, and you deliver something completely differently. How does that happen? But the suddenness and secrecy of a complete change in strategic direction was flabbergasting to us. So what do we want? I guess we sat down and considered this, and as community people, we're not just a one-song wonder. We do worry about the triple bottom line: social, economic, and environmental. So the economic side to this is compelling. That is wonderful. It's wonderful that South East Water will bring their head office to Frankston. Wonderful. And as we said, if we can't convince that there's a better option and a better site, and we can have a win-win rather than a win-lose situation, then we'd try for that first. But if that's not possible, then surely a modification of the building so that we can have a win-win, so that you get your headquarters here, but you also do that in a sympathetic way to the buildings around. I mean, you've got the landmark building that was wonderful when they came in 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, and built that high-quality building at 4 stories. We applaud that, because that was the first. We knew that anything higher than that, like the Peninsula Centre at 10 stories, becomes a wind magnet. It destroys the streetscapes around it. So when you saw the NAB building, I don't know what it's doing for the streetscapes and the docklands, but I know what a 10-storey building will do for the streetscapes here in Frankston, and it won't be commensurate with a public plaza and a pleasant place to come and have a coffee. But the other aspect of this was the shocking price. So this is social capital over 60 years. Social capital over 60 years. That alone, and the planning, would be $4 million. So what's the value of 3/4 of a city block right on the waterfront? Probably the most valuable site around the bay. $4 million? If it is, what's the replacement? So if you're going to provide, if we really believe in the triple bottom line and balance, so yeah, we've got to do the economic things, but we've also got to preserve our public spaces. This is important. These are the lungs to our community. So what's the cost of that? What's the replacement cost? If you take away 3/4 of a city block, what's the cost to buy it somewhere else and create it? Because the other problem we have is that KCA's 10 Stories of Frankston shows that we were gifted a Central Park. How fortunate were we? We frittered it away. We lost Central Park to commercial interest, the Gandil Corporation. Are we going to do it again? Or 2-time losers, 3-time losers? How many times are you going to lose? That is not a win situation to lose your parks. Second time, it's not a win situation to lose a park along Canoe Creek. But there's an opportunity if this is done with the right intentions and with the community in mind, rather than just a corporate dollar. Yeah, a 10-story building would be financially fantastic for the people who own it. But destroy other buildings around it, probably not good for the rest of the community, because it's not a gateway site. So I'll leave it there. I think we're going to quickly show that Frankston TV video from last year, and then John will have something to say.